I hate quoting him, but I feel like I have to right now. As Aaron Rodgers would say, relax. Because here's the thing. After the Eagles won 24-20 against the Cowboys in week 1, if you were to listen to sports radio, if you were to read Twitter, it is going to seem like they lost. 100% it is going to seem like they lost and they looked bad. Now, one of those things is partly true, but they won. And that's really all that matters, is that they won. They won 24-20, and it wasn't pretty, and it was ugly, and there's a lot of takeaways. First of all, Jalen Carter has to be smarter than that. Has to. Because after the video comes out of Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott, you immediately go like, dude, how dumb are you? The referee is literally right there. You are way too important of a player for this defense to have that happen. And immediately you see the impact. You see Dallas, as soon as they find out that he is out, switch to a run-heavy attack, which opened up the pass, and CeeDee Lamb is catching everything. That is the Jalen Carter effect. Because now you need to play Jordan Davis, who is virtually useless. I'll say it. He sucks. You have to play him more instead of having Jalen Carter next to Moro Ojomo. And you saw the impact. Javonte Williams is out there looking like, I don't know, some Emmett guy. But then you get the video of what actually transpired, which was Dak Prescott, veteran move, baiting Jalen Carter. And a lot of Eagles fans will sit there and they'll be Leo, right? Pointing and go, oh, look at the tape. That's a veteran move. That is Dak Prescott knowing full well what he's doing. Knowing, I'm going to spit in his direction. In his direction. I'm not going to spit on him. But he's such a hothead that he'll come over and he might do some dumb stuff. And guess what? It might end up getting him kicked out of the game. Oh my God, he just did it. I got him kicked out of the game. And I'll tell you, like I would hope to God that CeeDee Lamb would start spitting on some of the Eagles because the way he performed in the first half at least. But that is a veteran move by Dak. It is smart. And it will not be the first time now where opposing players tried to goat Jalen Carter into doing something stupid to get kicked out of the game. But it had an effect, right? I mean, it clearly had an effect. The secondary did not look good. Adoree Jackson, I was told there was a very strong smell of burnt toast in the link, and it was all from Adoree Jackson. Which makes you wonder how bad is Keely Ringo if Adoree Jackson's a starter. Because, man, he looked bad. Conversely, this was the worst game I've probably ever seen Quinyon Mitchell play, and that makes you wonder, should they have kept Darius Slay? Because Quinyon Mitchell was so shut down, and Darius Slay might have had a big factor in that. Because with Adoree Jackson, he was letting me and you catch balls. Offense looks really strong early on. You're not worried about that. They look as advertised. But the defense is clearly struggling without Jalen Carter. But that game was so weird in so many ways because it is a tale of two halves for both sides of the football. The first half, the offense could not be stopped. They're scoring on every drive, every time they have the ball. The defense, meanwhile, couldn't stop you and me. And then they come out for the second half, and it is completely switched, where the offense is struggling. The offense can't really get anything going. The defense, meanwhile, is playing lights-out football, causing turnovers, and looking like they should be picking off every ball. But also then you've got the A.J. Brown factor. Now, we all know that by the time I post this video, the post-game comments would have already happened, and the number one question would be about Jalen Carter, and the number two question will be, what the hell was your game plan with A.J. Brown? How does A.J. Brown go an entire game, essentially, with never getting targeted until 2 minutes left in the game? That is absurd. And it reminded me a lot of 2017, them not getting LeGarrette Blount the ball at all against the Chiefs. Just like the Jalen Carter thing, it reminded me a lot of the Jeremiah Trotter situation in 2005. They go down to Atlanta to start the season. They just went to the Super Bowl. Like Reese knew that the Eagles broke down to the 50-yard line. He told the Falcons players at the time, like, yeah, we're going to stop that. And Jeremiah Trotter gets kicked out of the game. The Eagles are forced to start Mike Labinjo, and he was last seen in the CFL. It was a disaster. The Eagles lost that game. They won this game. So that goes to my Patty positivity point of view on this. How many more games this season are we going to have A.J. Brown not get targeted, A.J. Brown not score, obviously, Saquon Barkley held under 100 yards, and Jalen Carter not be available? How many games this year does all of that happen? How many more? Maybe one of those happened, right? And it's probably most likely the Jalen Carter situation, and you would figure that would either be because of suspension, which he shouldn't be suspended, or injury. Probably pretty few, you know? So to me, this game reminded me a lot of the Packers game, the Packers playoff game. And the reason I say that is because after the Packers playoff game, a lot of people were saying, if the Eagles look like that next week, they're going to be in trouble. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah, but let's break this down. What are the odds that the Eagles go another week without Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, or Saquon Barkley getting in the end zone? Slim and none. And the next week, they played the Rams, and they ended up winning. For a while there, that game looked like it was in hand, and then the Rams kind of came back. But eventually, the Eagles closed it out. So when you factor in the weirdness of this game, when you factor in what was missing for the Eagles in the sense of like an A.J. Brown game plan, Jalen Carter completely, Landon Dickerson was out for a little bit, but he's always banged up, it seems like. When you factor all that in, I think you can take a lot of good from this game because I don't see that happening again. I don't see what we just watched happening again. It was a weird game. All right, but I would be shocked if A.J. Brown is not force-fed the ball next week. Their offense looked great, and I was right there with you in the first half going like, okay, they're scoring, but like, what's up with A.J. Brown? Like, this is weird. But you know what? At the end of the day, they won. And I'm saying this as a guy who lost money in the game because I bet it, right? That's probably a lot of you did. And, they didn't cover. But all that matters is they won. And I think when you factor in how a season goes in the NFL, I think when you look back and you're in the playoffs and, you win a Super Bowl and you look back at all those games where they were like this, where they were close and maybe they shouldn't have been close and maybe you thought they were going to hammer the team and they didn't and it was closer than you think, this is the difference and this is the separation between good teams and bad teams. Good teams do what the Eagles did. Good teams close the game out. Did they luck into some of it because CeeDee Lamb could have caught the ball? Absolutely they did. But on the flip side, the Eagles should have picked off a couple of those balls. The Eagles' defense came up clutch when they needed to. When the offense wasn't there, which was, second half, the Eagles' defense was there to pick them up. That is the sign of a good team. My worry for this is the fact that, and this was my worry going into the season, I did a whole video on this. My worry is that Nick Sirianni had his imprints, his fingerprints a little bit on the offensive game plan, and maybe that's why we didn't see A.J. Brown. And I just say that because every time Nick Sirianni touches the offense gets neutered. And the offense doesn't look great. To be fair, though, the offense looked fine in that first half. And that is just pure tinfoil hat pat, just guessing. But sometimes this shit happens. And look, it is inexcusable, and it's on A.J. Brown to go up to Jalen Hurts. It's on Jalen Hurts to recognize he needs to get the ball to A.J. Brown. It's on Kevin Patula. It's on Nick Sirianni. It's on a lot of them. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? If it continues, yes. But do you think it's going to continue? Do you realistically think that A.J. Brown is going to have a similar game for the rest of the season? You don't. Neither do I. They won. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly, but they won. And as, the old adage goes, divisional games are always close, yada, yada, yada. There was some good to take out of this game. And it's not just the anomalies that you probably won't see. I thought Jahad Campbell looked good. I was not happy with I thought the refereeing is actually pretty good, other than the taunting call. If they're going to start calling that, that's horseshit. That's horseshit. These are grown men. These are professional athletes, and we're calling 15-yard taunting calls because a guy flexed over somebody. Get real. But no, look, I think that there was some good. I think the Adoree Jackson thing is an issue. But we also all know that if it continues to be an issue and the cornerback spot is an issue, that Howie Roseman will go out and address it. He'll trade for a cornerback. He'll trade for a former All-Pro, former Pro Bowler, for whatever. He'll get a guy in here that can do the job if Adoree Jackson can't. So I don't foresee what we saw tonight, which was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen, in terms of like CeeDee Lamb catching everything. All of a sudden, CeeDee Lamb can't catch anything. The Jalen Carter thing, the A.J. Brown thing, the lightning delay, all of it. It was just fucking weird. But they won. Don't let that fall by the wayside. Don't forget that. Was it annoying? Was it pleasant? Was I sitting there at times going, this kind of sucks? Yes. But it's a lot better than a loss, folks. Now's the part where I ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. because I'm desperate. I need subscribers. I need 1,000. So please subscribe. You can like, you can dislike, you can comment, whatever, but yeah, subscribe is the most important thing. I will leave. And as always,
joining me now for live from his sex dungeon.
Hi.
He's in the chair.
Have you ever seen? You're a movie guy, Pat. You know that George Clooney movie where he creates the bicycle chair in the basement?
Are we talking about Freaky Friday?
I don't think he was in that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're going to find the George Clooney bike chair one day, and then you're going to think back to this conversation, and that's what I'm sitting on right now.
You know what? We don't do? We don't kink shame. We've never kink shamed.
It's 2025, Pat. No kink shaming. Never have, never will.
That's right. I'd say from the day we met, we were both lined up with the idea of we listen and we don't judge. And you live the lifestyle that you want to with your Git masks and your essential oils, and I'll live mine.
Yeah.
And
I just want people to be happy in this world.
That's right. Okay. I can see right now you're wearing green. You're all tanked up, man. You're all tanked up. Yeah, Jamie Lynch from PHLY.
Tank Bigsby, baby. So Howie does.
Yeah. All right. Let me start off by saying, are you getting tired of like the Howie makes a trade for like the 17th guy, and people are like, Howie Roseman, man. Howie did it again.
He did it. He fleeced the Jags.
Because I got to be honest, man, I don't really get this move at all. I mean, other than the fact that anytime you get a chance to have a guy named Tank Bigsby on your team, you have to take it.
I mean, that name is pretty cool.
But football wise, like I think our old buddy Zach Berman, Z-Berm on Twitter, I think he mentioned that it's probably he'll be in line for kick returns, but I didn't really get the move, man.
They did lose your boy BVS. You've always been on the BVS train last week.
Huge. Yeah.
They did carry 4 backs last week. So from that standpoint, it's not abnormal. Shipley's probably hurt for, I would imagine, 5 or 6 weeks at least. Tank, in a limited sample size, did return kicks pretty well. I think he averaged like 32.5 on 6 returns last year. Look at that. Those are facts, Pat. You can't even argue against those.
This is why you're employed and I'm not.
So I think he's going to be returning. I think he's going to be returning kicks for you. And then, I mean, A.J. Dillon, Tank Bigsby, Will Shipley, and Saquon Barkley. It's a pretty formidable backfield. But they gave up stuff, a 5th and a 6th. Like, that's not nothing.
No, and that's I think what I was surprised at. I'm sure you listen to the podcast with Howie Roseman and the Bussin' with the Boys crew, and he's like, I just hate giving up draft picks. And I kind of go like, but do you? Do you hate giving up draft picks? Because you do it at a rate, like I'm talking the late ones, but like he does it at a rate where you go like, I don't. It's kind of like me years ago saying, I hated boy bands, and then I just came to the acceptance of like, but I don't. And deep down, I had to come out as a boy band lover.
Important question here. Sharp pivot. Have you been K-pop red pill demon hunter? Are you demon huntered up?
I have not, and I saw your tweet about it, and I've been told by a few people that I need to get on that train. But I've been slow to the party. It was a busy month for me, man. I was in Vegas at one point.
Saw that.
I was in Toronto. You asked about that trip. That was hellacious. Didn't get laid in either city. So yeah, it's been a month. They've always
called you Mr. Worldwide, so I'm shocked by the Toronto news.
Yeah, me too. You're not on the dating apps. What's funny though is like I didn't realize the dating apps would follow me in terms of like when I switch locations. I thought it would be stuck in Philly, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, like I'm getting a lot of interest. And then I look over and it's like, oh no, like these girls live in Mississauga, Ontario.
So what's up with Mississauga, Ontario?
Dude, I matched with one girl on Bumble and she messaged me and then immediately unmatched. And it's going to haunt me what that message said. I can't read it. Because as soon as they unmatch, I can't read what they said. And I'm like, could you have just waited like 20 minutes? I would have read it and we would have just agreed to part ways. But yeah.
Share your favorite scriptures with one another.
She was cute, man. My opener was she asked what I like to do for fun. And I said, I like to dress up like Jack from Titanic. And I like to then make my way onto the door. And then
like a French girl.
And I didn't even say that part. I didn't even get sexual with it, Jamie.
Well, no, I wasn't either. I was just talking about your fondness for charcoal painting.
Yeah, look, we all have something we do in our free time, like Trey.
We all picked up a COVID hobby. Yours was charcoal painting.
I did after Trey Thomas. After Trey taught me how to paint in Pino's palette, I learned how to paint as well. I'm not as efficient at it, but anyway, big win. You were doing the emergency pod for PHLY for the football show. Big win though for the Phillies, man. I've shit on them all year. Aaron Nola, but huge win, 1-0 for the Fightins. But it does kind of come at a loss though because Trey Turner's injured and Alec Boehm's injured and some Wheeler guy is out. What's your level of concern for this team going down the stretch and into October?
I mean, I guess it's best possible case there with Turner. I was starting to convince myself once Wheeler was ruled out. I said it's over, season's done. I told my girls like, don't even get your hopes up. It's all over.
You're crushing Paige and Skylar's dreams. And how old are they? Remind the people.
6 and 4.
Yeah. Just
they
getting
know.
You're getting them ready to be a Philly sports fan. They're 6 and 4, and you're like, girls, this don't do it to yourself.
High highs, low lows. Like I already came to terms with Trey Turner's retirement and him never playing baseball again. So that's where I'm at. So I was just prepping him. So I told him that Wheeler season's over. It's all don't even watch anymore. Let's not pay attention. And then Skylar was like, what about Christopher Sanchez? Because that's her guy. And I was like, well, he's good, but he can't do it alone. And then your new outfield of Bader, Marsh, and Kepler started playing well. And I started to be like, oh, man, did they just get the magic? Are they kind of capturing some of that up for a little run? And then I started talking myself into it. And then the Trey Turner news came again, and I told the girls, shut the season down. We're not watching anymore. It's all over.
I'm done. I retired.
So I'm a little all over the map, I guess you could say.
Daddy can't do this anymore, girls. He's dead inside.
But I guess it's best case scenario. You got Turner with the grade 1. So my fear is when he returns. Now, last year was more severe than the grade 1, but when he returned, he didn't sprint for like 2 months after that. It took him a while. So even though it's grade 1 and he'll probably play again, and I'll take a one-legged Trey Turner's bat over any replacement player, I do fear like you're going to lose his speed come playoff time, and playoff time is all about tight sphincters, Pat, and speed on the base pass creates tight sphincters. Yeah,
my big fear was like he comes back and he's cold, and then you've got a cold Trey Turner going into a best of 5 series. And this year he's been the most valuable Trey Turner we've ever seen in a Phillies uniform.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Now let me ask you, so I've shit on him all year, but Aaron Nola pitched really well tonight. 6 innings, no runs. They win a 1-0 game. He looked like, the Aaron Nola that kind of we were promised. I've contended that he will end up starting one of the games, if not the first game in the best of 5 series in the playoffs, because I've said like he's paid too much money. Dave Dombrowski does not like admitting he was wrong. Dave gave him the contract, and they'll rely on the whole like, well, he's a big game pitcher. He's been there before. But then on the flip side, I go like, how do you throw a guy out there that has a 6.5 ERA in a best of 5 series? So where are you at on that? Do you think he starts a game, or do you think he will be kind of a 3rd, 4th pitcher?
I think he's in the contention for 3rd, 4th spot because of what you said. My only fear is throwing 3 straight lefties. Like Sanchez, Ranger, Luzardo. That's tough, especially if you're playing a team, with somebody that platoons and is really strong versus lefties. So I would love to break that up, but I have no confidence at all right now in playing him in any sort of meaningful game. I guess he can win back some equity over the next 2 weeks, but can he?
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's the thing. Like,
dismal.
Can you, in what 3, maybe 4 starts, can you end up undoing what I've seen? I mean, I haven't seen it. I retired from watching him pitch, but from
you were on that train early.
I just can't do it anymore, man. It's like, and even like when I do tune in, so I'll tune in. Like today I did it. I had the game on when he was pitching, but I was doing TikTok live because I was like, I'll just kind of distract myself from the upcoming 3-run home run. And it's like the broadcast, not that they're good. What are they supposed to say? But they pull hamstrings trying to justify his like shittiness. They'll be like, well, he pitched really well today and he went 5 1/3 and gave up 4 earned runs, but at that breaking ball, and you're like, what are we talking about? Like, this is a guy that's getting $24 million. So I hope they trade him in the offseason, man. I don't think that they will, but I think they should trade him and sign Ranger. But
I mean,
as I said,
if you're somebody that needs a pitcher, do you want to take on Aaron Nola?
So my counter to
you can talk yourself into it.
Yeah, and I have. My counter to it is James Shields.
5 years remaining after this?
Yeah, so my counter is James Shields, Big Game James. We all remember Big Game James. Big Game James was cooked. And the White Sox convinced themselves that they were a contender and they needed a big game pitcher, and they gave up,
who better
a really
to get
good
than
prospect,
Big Game James,
right? And he was horrible with the White Sox. But my point is, you get a desperate GM in there who will convince himself it was one bad year, and if he ends up turning it around, then that 5-year deal looks like a steal, and he can be a number 1 or 2. I mean, basically, what I'm saying is, you'll find a GM that will convince themselves that Aaron Nola who Dave Dombrowski thought he was, and I think Aaron Nola is cooked. But
yeah, I mean, you're right. Somebody's probably always dumb enough to make that deal, but 5 years is so much. Why did it have to be a 6? I know the Braves got involved, and screw Alex Anthopoulos for getting involved and driving us up to 6 years.
I think he was getting re-signed anyway, but yeah, I think it sucks.
6 years is the rash. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I hated that contract when it was signed, but I will say $24 million is like, that's team friendly for a guy. If you think he can be a number 1 or 2 again, that's pretty team friendly considering the Aces are getting 40.
I was going to say, you can get 3s out there for 20 to 22.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what Ranger gets, but
he's north of 20. I mean, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
the only problem with him is you're probably getting 150 to 160 innings max.
Yeah, that and like I don't care about that as long as he gets to October and he looks
Senor Octobre. He stole that from Chooch, man. That guy's got glass.
If he's dropping onions out there and letting it drag. So real quick, the number one question, I don't know if you get this, we never talked about this. The number one question I get on whenever I go do TikTok lives, which is basically every time Ben Davis is doing a call, like I can't do it. I can't. So I'll go TikTok live. The number one question I get is like, do you still talk to Jamie? You, Jamie, and Bob should do a podcast together. And I'm like, me and Jamie do not talk. We have not talked in probably 4 years. And Bob is a piece of shit. And he cosplays as that guy, but he's not. He's the worst. But,
no, you're actually paying me to join you tonight. So thank you. The Venmo cleared. What are the kids use now? Cash App, Zelle? What's
Cash App? No. Boomers use Zelle.
Because I feel like I'm already on the outskirts of being old with Venmo. Like that got phased out, right?
I still use Venmo constantly.
All right, good.
I mean, I still use it to tip all the time. Remember, you made fun of me for that. You ripped me apart for that. For those that don't know, me, Jamie, we used to work together. Obviously, I'm sure that's why you're watching. And we would do these PJ Wellhand happy hours.
Still got some of those PJ's bucks, baby. It's awesome.
I show up at the one in Oaks, and my go-to waitress / bartender Morgan's like, "How many of these do you have left?" And I was like, "Look, we would get $3.50 per card, and I don't have that many friends, so like a lot." But yeah, it came time to tip. I don't carry cash on me, so I asked the waitress, like, "Yo, what's your Venmo?" And she got so fucking weird with it and was like, "No, I'm okay." And I was like, "No, like I have to tip." And she's like,
"This is the only way I can tip you."
Yeah, I don't. And I looked at her in the eye. I was like, "Do you think I'm gonna hit on you in $2 increments? Like, what are we talking about?" And then I come in the next day and I tell you guys the story, and you're all ripping me apart. Like, what a weirdo, loser trying to tip with Venmo, creeping the waitress out.
Well, I mean, I can see why she would think that's creepy, but at the same time, it's dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, but that was the humbling thing. Was like, no, you are so weird.
I don't even want you to know my name.
That I would rather not get $10 than get the $10 and give you my name. I don't want Hamilton, actually. Hamilton's like the hit on Broadway, but I'm saying no to those tickets. So yeah, that was a humbling experience for me. Anyway, all right, back to moving on to football. Week 1, And by the way, I'm sure you didn't watch, but I did a whole like NFL predictions video. If you want my latest scorching hot bad take for football, because I was good for these once a year. Whether whether it be Travis Fulgham 1,000
Oh,
yards.
I was just gonna say Travis Fulgham was my favorite.
That's
that
the luxury.
So good.
That's the coup de grace. Chiefs will miss the playoffs. They end up winning the Super Bowl that year. So mine this year was Caleb Johnson. Or no, it was Caleb Johnson to win Rookie of the Year for the Steelers. He had 1 carry for -2 yards.
I drafted him in one of my leagues.
Yeah. I'm like Arthur Smith, right? Like running back, Iowa running back. They always do well. Who do they have there? Kenny Gainwell and 1 carry, 2 yards. So that's my latest one. But after 1 week, what is your
probably would have gone with a safe play of like Ikbuka or something.
Could have, right? Could have. But I don't know ball. I mean, I'm going to admit that to you right now. It's just as girls talking.
Ohio State game for once, just once.
I can't, and I'll tell you why. Because the 2-0 Temple Owls were probably playing at the same time. And
what's the deal with this quarterback kid? After Kurt Warner's kid betrayed Temple University and left you guys in the dust, this kid's balling, huh?
Not only did he betray Temple, right? He left Temple. So we're talking EJ Warner, the savior, leaves Temple, the Temple Owls. Right? He goes to Rice.
Yeah.
So he goes from it's owl on owl crime. And then after Rice, he goes, you know what? I can do better than Rice. I'm going to be a Bulldog. He was all Paul.
He has upgraded.
He has. But he was all bulldogged up. He wanted so
he's
it's
not a
like
lateral stepper.
The pantheon of Fresno State has got to be like Derek Carr, David Carr, Paul George, and then EJ Warner. And if you want to throw in like Chris Herron from years ago, and we'll also go Aaron Judge as well because he went to Fresno State.
He was a Fresno guy?
He was, yeah. He played tight end, and then he played baseball as well.
Oh, that's why I know that name.
Yeah. But yeah, man, he's just a gun. He's a gun for hire. Like, there's no loyalty with EJ Warner. I do miss him. Oh, there's a pick. We're both watching the game at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
but this new Temple kid's balling out, huh?
Yeah, so Evan Simon, he was last year of his eligibility. He's one of these like 27-year-old seniors. And he transferred in from Rutgers. And I think it's deceiving though. I think it's like he's good. He was good last year because he had no time to throw and he stood in the pocket, delivered some strikes, but the numbers are a little deceiving. But hey, 2-0. Like I'll take 2-0 all day. They beat that ass.
What was the original question here? Week 1 observations?
Yeah, what are your like week 1? Yeah, what are your week 1 takeaways? And then we as we tend to do, we got sidetracked.
My week 1 takeaway is I really wish I didn't go to bed at the 4.5 minute mark last night.
What a loser! You missed it.
Not a football guy.
Not at all. Just two non-football guys talking ball.
I went to bed thinking the Ravens had it. I love the Ravens all week, -1. I thought it was my play of the week. This guy doesn't know anything.
Guy doesn't like money. Apparently.
Apparently,
you're like the waitress from PJ Wellhands. You don't like money.
Goodell went real hard in the lab on that one. That script was good. Derrick Henry after that game fumbling.
Who saw it coming, right? A 75-year-old kicker coming in.
Roger Goodell. That script that checked out, man. That was good stuff.
Tony Danza comes in out of nowhere and kicks the game winner.
Yeah,
craziness.
That was crazy. My week 1 observations outside of that. One of those teams is playing in the Super Bowl.
I had the Ravens. The Ravens were my pick for the Super Bowl.
Lamar Jackson's so fun to watch.
He is.
The Packers are probably legit, but offensively they don't scare me yet.
No, me neither.
Not a whole lot. I mean, I think there's a lot of mediocre teams, and the Eagles are one of the best again.
Yeah, like you look around, not to play like the fantasy GM, but you looked at the stat lines for a lot of the games, and it was like, God, that's it.
Yeah,
like, these performances
very unimpressive.
Kind of
like
gross.
The Rams beat a Texans team that like was pathetic.
Yeah,
and they barely beat them. I don't know, the Lions and Vikings.
Like, what are you getting from JJ McCarthy? Nobody knows.
He doesn't look too hot tonight so far.
No, not at all. That's a good division, I feel like, but
that is a good division. They might get 3 teams in.
Yeah. So the Eagles, obviously, I don't know if you're aware because we're two non-football guys, and I googled it, but they did win. And
I saw that.
apparently this AJ guy just didn't get the ball. Now my obviously I don't work in sports radio anymore. I joined you in the we got to let you go because of budget cuts club. Fun club to be in, by the way. And by the way, I mean the Beasleys are thriving right now. But so I joined you in that club, and I stopped being a part of sports radio when it happened. I imagine though the sports radio take was like the most Philly sports. Yeah, they won, but and then it probably was the AJ Brown and then Jalen Carter thing. What were your takeaway on both the Jalen Carter and the AJ Brown, the defense, the offense, the whole game, if you will?
Yeah, I think not a problem now, but in a couple weeks, I think there's a real divide between AJ and Jalen. You better look out for that. I'm just telling you now, what I see right now, this is going to lead to a bigger problem down the road.
You have to get loud. You have to get more animated, get louder to get those phone calls in.
Brandon Graham wasn't in that locker room to stop this from happening. He's not there. The leadership is called into question right now. That locker room is fractured.
Fractured locker room.
Fractured there. Yeah, it's good work by us.
So the Jalen Carter thing, he spits on Dak.
That was really dumb. But
one of the biggest bonehead moves I can remember happening.
So dumb. He totally was baited into it. Like you just can't take the bait.
But I vividly remember I spit at you one time after like torching you in a foot race against an imaginary bear. We were getting chased by a virtual Kodiak, if you will, and I spit in your direction, and you didn't spit on me. Mm-mm. You politely told me like, "Hey, Chief, that ain't gonna fly," and I apologized, and we moved on from it. But like, what did he exactly think he was going to accomplish by doing that right in front of the ref? But look, he ends up exiting the game. He's probably the most important guy. And then I think the entire game plan for Dallas ended up changing, where you saw a very comfortable Dak Prescott pick apart Adoree Jackson. Now, I have said the good thing about Howie, and we saw it again today because we're recording this on a Monday. If there's a problem, he will address it. And I've said, look, if Adoree Jackson continues to be a problem, like they'll go out, they'll get a former All-Pro cornerback at the deadline. But how much concern do you have that, Darius Slay and CJ Gardner-Johnson are now on, different uniforms? Did they make a mistake in your opinion?
I watched a little bit of the Steelers game yesterday, and I saw Slay get absolutely torched for a touchdown. So, I mean, I usually trust them when it comes to older players, so I'm not going to go mistake there. The fact they had somebody in this morning for a workout tells me they're pretty concerned. I think I've seen people on Twitter getting thirsty for Asante Samuel Jr. and somebody else is out there. I mean, they have a ton of picks. They'll probably just trade for somebody better if Bennett doesn't steal the job. I think Adoree Jackson's fun.
I agree with you. Like I could smell the burnt toast from my couch. I can't imagine the waft in the link from him just getting abused all night. I mean, that was the first game I felt like Quinyon Mitchell didn't even look good.
No, he didn't.
And I wonder like how much of it was having Slay on the outside to go along with helping him out. But yeah, he didn't look good. But to their credit, the defense ended up playing. It was like a tale of two halves. The defense ended up shutting them out.
Yeah, they were great in the second half
and coming up big. The AJ thing, though, I don't know if you agree with me. Like I was like, oh, AJ's a lock next week for 100 and at least a touch.
Yeah, I think he looked not 100% yet, which is fine. I think there was a couple plays early where he was open, but Jalen was, reading the other side of the field. I think those things get figured out. I mean, I'm overly not concerned about it. He'll just keep reading inner excellence and find that piece.
What did you read back in the day when I would annoy you?
Playboy. I was like the catcher from Major League 3. Yeah, I would recite their favorite Rube.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great Major League 3 knowledge by you.
Thank you.
That's why we had you on the program. For Major League. Now let me ask you: have the girls seen Major League 3 yet? Have you showed them the classics?
No, but you know what? I got Skylar hooked on, and I'm very pumped. She even asked to watch it one Saturday morning. Sandlot, loved it.
Oh, Jack loves the Sandlot.
Yeah, that was a big dad win.
I introduced him to Field of Dreams this year. And we went to go see Field of Dreams at CBP. They had like a season ticket holder event, and we went, and that was cool. Like as like a dad, like I'm getting like it was a free season ticket holder event. I was actually a big part of forming it. I can take credit for this. I can break this news. So my season ticket rep, Sean Blueball, shout out to him.
Shout out Sean Blueball.
He came up with this movie night idea. So the first year they did The Sandlot. The second year they did a movie that I know you haven't seen because you're a coward. You're an absolute soy boy coward, and that movie is The Greatest Showman.
Still have not seen it.
Yeah, I know you haven't because you're.
It's not intentional at this point. I'll watch it with the girls one of these days.
All right, Miss Anelli. Here's the thing: you know that when you watch it, you're gonna like it, and you don't want to have to admit defeat, so you're just gonna avoid it.
No,
come on, bro.
I was a big fan of Wicked this summer. I'll say it with my chest.
Wicked. I hated
Wicked.
You
would hate Wicked.
I walked out of that and I shaved my chest for that. Are you kidding me?
Were angelic.
And not only that, I went
Defying Gravity. That doesn't hit you right in the stones.
If you liked Wicked, then you will love Greatest Showman because Greatest Showman had nothing but bangers, and Wicked had 2 bangers, and it was 2.5 hours. It was absurd. I walked out of that thing at 2:00 in the morning because I went to an 11 o'clock screen.
That's a you problem.
That is a me problem. But I walked out and I'm like,
that's not a Glinda problem. That's a Pat Egan problem.
I'm not blaming her. I just wasn't entertained by it at all. I was anyway. Yeah. So they did Greatest Showman, and then I saw him earlier this year, and I was like, yeah, like what's the movie this year? He's like, I have no idea. You got any ideas? And I was like, yeah, you got to do Field of Dreams. And then a couple weeks later, the email goes out. You're welcome, Philadelphia. But yeah, it was cool, man. He's all. Obviously, yeah. I think. I mean, you said it. We're all thinking it, but yeah, he's gotten into that big time. Actually, we watched Greatest Showman for the 15th millionth time this weekend. We were bopping along to it, but you wouldn't know about it because you're a coward. And the problem with you, and this is why I really brought you on to expose you for the horrible husband and father you are, because you were. It's like your own ego and pride is taking away from your family's enjoyment because that's fun for the whole family, and you won't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you watch K-pop Demon Hunters, I'll watch The Greatest Showman.
Done.
You know what I did last night? I know you like television and film, and you're probably way ahead of me. And you know, I've seen the whole series.
What I love is when you tweet out like, by the way, if anyone's interested, let me like Chief of War on Apple is a good one, and I'm like, it's not bad, but I got the screener for it. Like I got the screener for it like 2 months early, and I was excited for it. And then the entire thing is in Hawaiian, and I'm having to read it, and I'm like, I don't know how much. Yeah, I think I'm all right. But yeah. Basically, I got like 4, and it's good, but I got 4 episodes in, and I'm like, I think I can probably focus on something else.
Apple TV doesn't miss these days, bro.
They don't, man. I tell people all the time. I told you about it, like, cause you're a dad. Like, Stillwater on Apple TV is one of the best kid shows. Dude, put it on for the girls. It's a talking panda, and he's the calmest panda in the world.
Stillwater,
it's incredible, man. Like my kids love it, but it's like Bluey but more calm, and it's chill. Yeah, it's good. But no, but what were you gonna say? What show?
I watched Task, HBO's new.
I haven't watched it.
Delco, you haven't watched it?
No, and I'm annoyed because, and if anybody from Here You Loftus Casting, I think I got banned from the casting company in the area.
What'd you do?
I don't know. So the casting company in the area is called Here You Loftus Casting. They will pretty much take anybody because what's like the unknown thing in movies is like they really just need people that are willing to show up
around for 12 hours and get paid
and have no idea when they're going home. And the list is small. And because I am very much unemployed, like every week, like I'll go on the little casting portal and I'm like, yeah, I'm available. Like, what else am I doing in my life? And I don't get called for anything ever. And Task was one of them. And it literally was filmed up the street. I could have walked to work, but it looked good. I mean, Brad Inglesby.
Yeah. I texted him last night. Brag.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you mentioned it, right? Because you wanted to humble brag.
Yeah, I wanted to brag. I wanted to humble brag.
All right. Well, I texted AJ Brown.
Sick.
You can't prove me wrong. I called Bob Cooney a week ago. I mean,
so you should watch it because I don't know if you know this, Pat. It takes place in Delco, and they make a lot of Philly references, and the accent is in the show.
I will watch it. I'm not a Mark Ruffalo guy, but I will watch it because it did look good.
He does a lot of those dramatic faces and like.
Yeah, that's what annoys me with him.
He's
I
a
was
really
watching
good actor.
I was watching The Paper,
Yeah.
the Office spinoff, and that wasn't bad.
I love a
I got, like-
newspaper drama.
Well, as a couple of journalists,
Yeah,
we
Big
know.
J.
I mean, hey, have you done your Beasley Best? Have you gotten your page, your article up yet? That we're required to do?
That's a tough subject movie outside of
I don't even know what it's about.
pedophilia in the church. Yeah.
Task?
No, not Task. The old Mark Ruffalo newspaper movie.
Oh,
Spotlight.
jeez, man. Yeah, no, that was tough.
Task is about biker gangs meet basically robbers.
Oh, okay. That's a light that we both know a lot about.
I relate to it. And your boy, I think you hated this guy in Narcos, the brother, Ben of Laura Linney.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I know he's a good actor. He's a really
very
good actor.
He's the other lead outside of Ruffalo.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's really, really good. Yeah. All
Acme
right,
reference, Rita's Water Ice, big theme in the show, and a couple hardwooders dropped.
What about a PHLY reference?
We're working on it.
Okay. All right. That's where you can hear Jamie if you're interested. That's the one thing. What I love is I'll do like a TikTok live, and then for the Eagles game, I did a live on this channel just because I desperately need subscribers, and then I did a live on TikTok as well. And the amount of people that are like, "Hey man, are you still on 97.5?" And I'm like, no, man. And it's like, yeah, I don't really get a chance to listen anymore. I'm like, I can tell. Believe it or not, I can actually tell you.
I knew right away. Yeah, I knew right away.
Yeah. All right. Last one before I let you go. What is your prediction for Phillies Karen references during the playoffs? Do we get any
from broadcast?
Phillies Karen references? Yeah. From like a national broadcast crew. I'll put the over under at 2.5.
I'm gonna go under.
I might take the over.
Ooh.
But they definitely say it one time.
Yeah,
It's tough.
It was a tough scene. That was a tough scene.
Did you watch it live?
No, I didn't actually.
So I was on TikTok live, and when it happened, they quickly showed the interaction, and I said like, I need to know what's going on, because you can you see her like her Nike Air PTA meetings and the Kate Gosselin haircut, and you're like, she's not congratulating them. So I was like, yeah, I need to know what happened there, but the broadcast didn't mention it. And then 4 innings later, they were like, oh, by the way, in case you missed it, there was like a kerfuffle going on in the stands, and that's when like it really blew up. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's the worst. I mean, I know it
looks quite terrible.
If that was you and this woman's wants that ball to Skylar's glove, you're throwing elbows.
Yeah, I don't think I'm calm, and I would be calm, but I don't think I'm giving her the ball back. I'm not trying to sound like Johnny Hardass here, but like, I've never caught a home run. I've never caught a foul ball. My girls would be so pumped if that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd want to teach them that you just give in to a crazy person.
Yeah. I love though, when she immediately starts talking to him, he like got defensive with it. Was like, I'm ready to fight.
I'll fight if I have to. I don't want to. Who are you?
Yeah. I think in that situation, he probably regretted giving her the ball afterwards. And I say that because this was years ago, but we were on the outfield third base side. We were like row 4, right against like the guardrail. And Ryan Howard hit a home run ball that hit the foul pole, bounced out on the field, and the ball girl went and grabbed it, and there were no kids around, and she like sacrificed it up. And since I look 12 years old, I was like, I'll take that. Yeah. And then the people in front of me were like, oh, like we have a kid, blah, blah, blah. And I actually offered it up. I was like, well, you can have it if you want. To their credit, they were like, no, it's fine. And then after I got home, I'm like, why was I offering up a Ryan Howard home run ball? Like, what a moron. Like, he's really good. And I think in the moment, he probably just wanted her to go away. But he probably he got bailed out
for him in hindsight. Apparently, he got like a free RV and a trip to the World Series. Met Bader. He got one of those
head. He got one of those chairs you're sitting on right now, the sex
Yeah.
chairs with the thing. Anyway, my OnlyFans
That
on
was a
sale.
movie reference. I led with a movie reference for you, and you didn't even get it. Burn After Reading is the movie.
Dude, I watched that one time and didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was so weird. I liked it.
The one thing I say to people when they bring up like the old morning show crew of like me, you, Kincaid, and Cooney was like, I'm like, you guys don't realize after Jamie was let go, I would throw out movie references and just get blank stares back at me. He made me feel seen. And I got Bob, who doesn't watch any movies, or if he does, he falls asleep within 7 minutes
Pop.
because he's pop. And John hasn't seen anything that wasn't before 1990 or whatever. So I'm like, I'm fucked. But all right, I'll let you go. This has been too long. Thanks. I guess it hasn't been good, but hopefully, I guess
Definitely not good.
It hasn't, and we're probably not going to do this again for a while. But yeah, people were asking. I have to give in to the people. They're always like, yeah, like get Jamie on. I'm like, I don't really talk to that guy anymore. Not after what
live you talk about is nude. Because you make reference to it a lot.
Dude, okay, no joke. Well, first of all, how does it feel to not be on TikTok? Because it's the only social media platform you're not on. I'll send you stuff and you're like, I'm not on it. Meanwhile, you still have an active Threads account. You're on Threads, but you won't join TikTok.
I haven't opened Threads since I started the account. Blue Sky's already lost me.
What a boomer.
I know if I download TikTok, I'm gonna like it too much.
You will. No, I like it way too much.
I'm out. I'll tell you. Go to the Apple, Pat.
I'll tell you why I like it, because they filter out like the nasty comments we're used to getting, like LOL clown and you're a dipshit. How do these guys get paid to do what they do? There was one guy I did a TikTok on Donovan McNabb, and I really don't do a lot of sports TikToks, but I did a TikTok on the 99 draft, and my whole thing was like, I wonder what would have happened if the Eagles had the first overall pick, because they were the worst team, but the Browns were the expansion team. So the Browns had the first overall pick, they take Tim Couch. Obviously, the Eagles brass are like, yeah, we would have taken McNabb anyway, but we never know, right? And this guy's like, I've forgotten more about Eagles than you. And it was so out of left field. Like, we weren't even going back and forth. I was like, if this makes you feel better, Chief. But to your point, I did TikTok live and I was joking about, yeah, folks, OnlyFans this month, $3.99 a month. We've got a little special going on. See me up there twerking. All of a sudden, the screen goes black. And they banned me for a week.
Really?
Like, yeah, they like their little algorithm thing took it seriously. They're like, yeah, like, and I'm like, TikTok, like, look at me. Do you think anyone's paying for this? Like, get real.
How are your feet looking?
Not good.
No,
because I skate 3 to 4 times a week.
You got hammer toes?
I'm a freak athlete. No, I just don't have I don't have sexy feet.
Well, maybe
I know it. I know a sexy foot.
Huh?
Little pumice.
Yeah.
This sounds like a guy. This sounds like a guy who's selling feet pics. It sounds like you're giving me the primer for how to get through life.
Invest in a little pedicure there and get the feet pics up.
Go ahead, plug your channel on feetfinder.com. Plug it for the people. Jamie, 2 toes.
Yeah. Just saying. Nobody sees your face with the foot pics.
Hey, I get it, man. Camp in the summertime is expensive and you got 2 kids and you got to pay for it somehow. So if daddy has to get out there and wiggle some little piggies, then daddy's got to get out there and wiggle some little piggies. I mean,
like those digits. I got more digits where they came from.
All right. Look, I got to go swipe on some females that aren't interested in me. All right. I'm going to go. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bohm is injured. Turner's injured. Nola's healthy. Our pets' heads are falling off. This could not come at a worse time. And the only person to blame, obviously, is Phillies Karen, which I was on a TikTok live while that was going on. And when Bader hit the home run, I even commented, like, I need the backstory on what is going on there. Because they quickly shot to it. And then, obviously, they went back later and you saw the full her going up in her Nike Air PTA meetings and the finger and all that. She's who I'm going to blame for this. But this could not come at a worse time. The Wheeler injury was tough enough because, as I said, when it happened, now you've got Nola coming back healthy. The organization will try to, showcase him and get him right for the postseason, even though he's incapable of getting right for the postseason. And he's been as horrible after coming back from this phantom injury as he was before. The guy lives to give up home runs. So you were getting less Wheeler, more Nola, and now you're dealing with your third baseman and your shortstop out. The good news, if you're a Phillies fan, is that it's a grade 1 strain, and that Trey Turner should be back, and Alec Boehm should also be back before the postseason starts. But this is a legitimate concern for a team that was already, I feel like, kind of limping into October again. Now, record-wise, no. I mean, record-wise, they have, the second best record in baseball, and they look great, and they're winning series and all of that. But when you dive deeper into it, this is a team that has a big question in the outfield. They've benched a $20 million player in Nick Castellanos for Max Kepler, of all people. They have pitching question marks galore because of the Wheeler injury. And now you've got, other than Kyle Schwarber, you could say your biggest offensive threat in Trey Turner down. And if he comes back for the playoffs, great. If he comes back before that, awesome. But you worry of, is there a little rust factor when he eventually does come back? He's not going to be able to do AAA, AA, a rehab assignment, because those seasons will be over. So he's essentially going to be coming back and jumping right into things. And with what played out last October against the Mets in that 5-game series, you need Trey Turner to be right. You don't need him coming back and being rusty. You need him coming back and, just already being in the swing of things, pun intended. And you need him being that catalyst that he's been all season long, which is one of the best shortstops in all of baseball. And this is the problem with having a 5-game series. I've always hated the 5-game series. I hated it last year when they lost to the Mets. I'd never been a fan of it, even when it benefited the Phillies against the Braves a couple of years ago. But this is a giant concern for me, because the Phillies, I fear, and I don't know how you can at this point, honestly, because he's been so bad, but I fear Aaron Nola will be pitching in either the first or second game of a 5-game series, and that will be a game where your offense needs to explode. Because at this point, and maybe this will age poorly because he pitches on Monday night, and I'm recording this on a Monday, but at this point, I feel like your offense needs to score 7 runs when he is on the mound, because he's going to give up probably about 6. So I need the offense to be clicking. And when you take 2 major contributors out of your lineup for an extended period of time, and then you expect them to come back and just be, right as rain, that's a tough ask. Now, obviously, it's going to come down to these guys. At the end of the day, and I said this last year when, fingers were pointed and blame was being strewn about because the Phillies lost to the Mets, at the end of the day, you need your big guns to step up. You're not going to look at the Mets series and go, oh, damn, Rojas was the reason. He's played really well recently, but I've never been a big fan of Brandon Marsh, but you're still not going to look at the series and go, Brandon Marsh is the reason we lost, unless he makes a huge gaffe in the outfield. It's going to come down to the Harpers, Schwarbers, Turners, Real Mutos, and you can even throw in Alec Boehm in there if you want to. But this, to me, is a large, large concern going into October. I'm not concerned that they will win the division. They've got such a large lead. How could they not win the division? But I feel like these injuries are coming at a really, really bad time, and you might be seeing the effect of just an older team. Now, the good news is, down on the farm, the youngsters are really, really impressing. Whether it be, first of all, the last 3, take out Gage Wood, because he just made his debut in Clearwater, but the last 3 before that, first-round picks, being Justin Crawford, Dante Nori, and Aiden Miller, are crushing it. All 3 of them have over 40 stolen bases. 2 of them have 50 stolen bases in the minors. And then bodes the question, do you call up Aiden Miller? Now, he has only been in AA this entire season, and he's 21 years old. He did okay his first month, and then the next couple months he struggled. But he's been arguably the Phillies' hottest hitter in the minor leagues the past 5 weeks. I write for PHLY.com about prospects, and he was one of my top 5 prospects in August. I believe he hit over 350. I don't have the exact number for you, but last week, his first week in September, he hit over 400. He's been scorching hot. Do you end up calling him up just to get his feet wet? I don't know if I do, but what I do like is the fact that when he struggled mightily in, I believe it was June and July, and I'm talking he hit over under 200 in those months, the dog days, the organization stuck with him, and then he's rebounded and then some, as I said. So I don't look at him as a kid now where if you call him up and he struggles, I don't look at that situation being, oh man, you're going to kill his confidence. Like years ago, I remember when they called up Gavin Floyd. Years ago, I mean like over almost 20 at this point. When they called up Gavin Floyd and he struggled, he looked like a deer in the headlights, and it kind of killed his confidence. And eventually, he needed to change his scenery, and they traded him in that Freddie Garcia trade that was horrible. But I don't think that that's going to happen with Aiden Miller because he's 21 years old. You know, he's full of pith and vinegar, and mainly it didn't affect him this year when he was a 21-year-old at a higher level, one of the younger people on the team, and he was struggling in the middle of the season, and you saw what happened. They stuck with him. He stuck with it, and he's completely figured out Double-A pitching. If he were to get called up, would I expect him to flourish? Not really, because again, he's 21 years old. But is it the worst thing in the world if you call him up? No, I don't think so. If they do end up calling him up, which once again, I'd be kind of surprised if they do because you're killing a year of team control. If you do, I would like to see him at shortstop and third base. But again, I think that that's a pipe dream at this point. I think we're going to see a lot of Edmundo Sosa. Otto Kemp comes up and plays third base. And you're basically seeing Edmundo play shortstop and Otto Kemp at that point audition to be Edmundo's replacement because Edmundo is a restricted free agent, a free agent next year, and will likely command too much money in a starting role somewhere else. So I'm a little concerned as a Phillies fan going into October with the amount of injuries that are starting to pile up, the wear and tear on these guys' bodies because 162 game season is a long stretch and these guys aren't getting any younger. But mainly you're seeing key players go down with these injuries. And then again, you've got Aaron Nola, who is getting thrown out there every fifth day to just give up gopher balls and look like Adam Eaton. So things aren't great. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I do need to mention that. Do I need to mention anything? Yeah, subscribe. I need to mention subscribe. I need subscribers. That'd be cool. Like, dislike, comment, whatever you want. But I need subscribers. And then when I get 1,000, I'll stop begging.